Hello there and welcome to another one. I trust I find you in good spirits. My name is Tatenda, back with another one. I've got Usparsam. You know when you're starting a shoot and then there is this guy, and my wife always says, let me say this, I'm known to be a person that cannot hold a secret. So this is what happens. This man comes in and to me he says, how are you? Then to my wife he says, Kunjan. So I'm like, okay, how does this work? I get greeted in English, the other one gets greeted in their language. Why? Anyway, if you're new to the channel, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. We've got a special guest tonight, today, whatever time it is. And I'm so excited. That's why if you're new to the channel, liking, sharing, and subscribing helps us bring more people like the one that you're going to see shortly. But before all that, ladies and gentlemen, gents, I'm so excited. I said that before. This man is coming from such a prestigious tournament, played at the highest level with some top names, and I'm so excited to hear what goes through the mind of someone that is sitting next to Josh Butler, sitting next to Jason Roy, sitting next to David Miller. If you know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, meet Lions cricketer, professional cricketer. This is what's going to happen. Nqaba Nqaba Peter. Did I kill it?
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say
100%.
Oh yes, 100%. I killed it.
100%. Thank you so much. That was actually such a beautiful intro, you know.
Oh man,
I appreciate it a lot.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking your time to come to the podcast. Like I was saying earlier, that this is not an interview, so don't look at it as justice. What's that's going to ask me now? Yeah. And is he going to ask controversial questions? Yes, I am. I'm joking. Anyway, we are the deal or the mission or the vision of the podcast is to interview or put a spotlight on gents that are doing their most for cricket. And like I said offline, we want to do everything in our power to make sure that cricket wins. So it's not about the person that comes, it's what they are representing. And a lot of times we know that one can be so talented, but then they end up not making it on the big stage. So making it on the big stage is such a blessing, and there's someone that's going to draw inspiration from that. That's why we invite gents to come through. Then let's just have a chat and know them. Apart from you wearing yellow, you wearing white, or you wearing pink and blue. Who is it pink and blue or pink and purple?
Pink and navy, I think.
And navy.
Pink and navy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm right. I'm close. I'm close. And another one I wanted to say, when I got home, so we're waiting for you, and my son is like, he was wearing his school uniform. I'm like, but we've got a cat. And Aya is scared of that cat, but like literally goes, he cringes.
A cat.
A cat. Are you scared of a cat as well?
Sure.
Yes.
I don't think I'm a cat person. I've got dogs, but
Oh, is it?
yeah, but I don't.
Yes, is when Aya saw, he's like, yo, sis spoons are yo. So my son then, I say, because he's wearing a black t-shirt, and with the cat fur and all that gets on the t-shirt, and there's a mess with the mom to try and clean it. So I'm like, change, wear something. Guess what? He goes for his Royals t-shirt because he got it for his birthday from his white grandmother.
Nice.
So I'm like, dude, you don't have to wear such a nice shirt. It's at night, you're going to go to bed, so wear pajamas. Then I'm like, oh no, the person that's coming plays for Royals. He's like, it's a spinner. I know him from Google. Okay. So I'm surprised that when you walked in, he says he didn't remember you because you guys look different. When you're there, you're like, you mean business.
Yeah.
Anyway, I talk a lot. Sorry, right? Welcome to the Game On podcast, and thank you for coming through.
No, thank you very much, guys. Thanks very much, Tatenda. I feel very welcomed. I mean, honestly, this past couple of months has been such a roller coaster ride. You know, so much has happened in such a short space of time, you know. I only moved in to Joburg, I think, last year, June.
Wow.
So I've been here for about 8 months or so. And so much has happened, you know. You realize these kind of things when you move, you know, different environments. I didn't really know that environments played such a big role in how far you could go, you know. Because usually you can be limited, you know, in terms of the information you get, in terms of the people you see around you, you know. But then when you start rubbing shoulders with people you actually look up to, you know, then it becomes different chats, you know. And then you also start feeling like, you know what, it's not so far, you know. Sometimes when you're watching it on TV and you're also playing, it feels like it's far-fetched, you know. Whereby that's actually not the case.
Amazing. You see, I'm already enjoying this conversation before we even get into it. But then there's always going to be someone that is watching this. And the reason why I asked this question, and I hate it. I hate this question because when you come to the team, and of course we've got a bigger team. The other guy is in PE. The other one is around here. Just going through some stuff, my co-host. Then Aya is our content producer, so he brings us the guests and does liaising and all that. So the first question that always comes when you say, I am bringing Valpra or iPhone, someone is going to say, who's that? You understand? And yes, we're coming from a cricket circle, so we understand when we know the gents and all that, but my wife does not. My wife is sort of like starting to grasp the concept of cricketers and whatnot, and the digital marketer or the graphic designer, he knows nothing about cricket. You toss a ball to him, you think, geez, what do I do with it? So the question will be, who is that person that is coming in? So I hate the question, but I have to ask, who is Nqaba Peter?
Wow. I would say Nqaba Peter is a believer of Christ. At first, I think that's very important in my life and the way I'm obviously brought up. And just from, you know, I think I'm a pretty much chilled person. I like cracking jokes now and then.
Nice.
I'm a very hard worker. You know, I take responsibility in my work. You know, I work hard for the things that I have. And yeah, pretty much that's me. I mean, I didn't expect that question. Who is Nqaba Peter? To think of it like just outside of cricket, I think I'm just like everyone else. You know, I don't have no different lifestyle to everyone else. You know, I live life basically the way everyone does. It's just that I play cricket at a higher level.
It's amazing how, and I want to come back to what you said earlier when you said when you were playing cricket in the field or club cricket, whatever the case may be, you kind of feel like you're watching these guys on TV and feel like, nah, not me. Because it's easy for one to believe negative about themselves than it is to believe the positive. And what I love the most about that question is, I once asked another guest who they were, and they're like, you know, it's really tough because when I am on the cricket field, I am a cricketer. When I'm at home, I'm a father. When I'm at work, I'm an employee. When I'm at church, I'm a pastor. You understand? So for you to come back and say, I'm a believer to start with, I think that sets the ground of what you are about. Yes, everyone knows you as a cricketer, but you are a believer before you are a cricketer, and that's something powerful. And just wanted to reiterate that point, that when someone says I'm a believer, that's what starts. Before I'm a cricketer, I'm a believer. Before I'm a father, I'm a believer. Before I'm a wife, I'm a believer. That's something powerful. At what point did Nqaba, it's going to be a long interview. At what point did Mr. Peter realize that Christ comes before the game?
Well, obviously growing up in a Christian household, you know, praying is second to none. You know, you wake up every morning, you pray for everything you have, you know, especially coming from a black background, you know, you only, if those who know, but on a Sunday morning,
Church.
8 o'clock, you know, the gospel's already playing. We're cleaning the house, you know. So that's just kind of really set, you know, a kind of a standard and a tone, I guess, in my life, to always know that, the man above is always watching, whatever I'm doing. He's the one who takes care of, me and obviously how I do things. So, I guess you have to first, appreciate the things that you have. And, I guess I go to him,
Yeah, amazing.
for all that.
Amazing. You mentioned that you play at the highest level, but you did not wake up playing at the highest level. And it's easy for someone to look at you and go, wow, he's playing at the highest level. But then at some point in your life, you went to school, you played club cricket, you've had failures. The one thing about the game or sport in general is you fail more than you succeed. And that humbles you in the game, because yes, you're going to wake up and you're scoring hundreds, but then there's probably 100 innings that you did not score anything, or you get a 5 or a 10, whatever the case may be, but there's always going to be failure before you succeed. Where did Nqaba's cricket start? And I don't want us to start by looking at you as playing at the highest level.
Yeah.
We want the person that is watching this to go, wow, so this is where you started, then you did this, then you met this, then you da, and to get to the point that he is.
Yeah. So basically, I come from a sporting background. My late father played rugby, he played cricket, he played soccer, but obviously didn't play at like the highest levels, and then family around, I've got an older brother who played cricket at the time. All my cousins played cricket. We used to just do it as just like a backyard thing, whereby we just take a cricket ball and a tennis ball and a cricket bat, or like a wooden plank, and we just start, playing. Now, obviously, took that now into hardball cricket, which was at George Randall Primary. That's where I would say I'd learned the fundamentals of cricket. Where you've got to actually defend. You can't
just
hit
swing everything. Yeah. Where is this, George? Which part of South Africa is
George
that?
Randall Primary is in East London.
I see.
Yeah.
So you grew up predominantly in East London, family, everything.
Everything. Grew up in East London. First time I would say in coming to Joburg is that I've left for so long, and actually just stay alone for so long.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I played in primary school, and then I took it up to high school. I actually was a seamer first.
Nice.
I wasn't a leg spinner.
Okay.
I was a seamer from I think grade 1 to about grade 5. And then there was this one day.
This is when the stories are coming. I love it.
One day I was fooling around at practice. This was before practice started. We always wanted to get to practice before it started, just to,
You mess around, hit a few balls, or throw a few balls, yeah.
So I was just bowling leg spin. And then the coach saw me. And he was like, so I then took that on into practice. And he was like, okay, you want to fool around at my practice? This is what you're going to bowl this weekend. Okay. So then at the time, I'm thinking, I messed up big time. That weekend we were playing Queen's College and I got 6 for 12, I think. So
first time bowling leg spin.
First time bowling leg spin.
Wow.
So then after then, I never looked back, to be honest.
Jeez. So we can't really say the coach picked up that you are talented. The coach was using it as some sort of punishment.
Yeah. And then obviously after that game, he then asked me, the reason why he actually saw that there's actually something in me bowling that leg spin. And then the next game, he then asked, do I want to carry on? Wow. So he didn't force me into anything. He kind of gave me a choice. Do you want to bowl pace or do you want to do this? So I said, no, let me actually try this. I'm actually enjoying it.
Yeah.
So I then did that, carried it on to high school, which was Hudson Park High. From Hudson, I didn't have a varsity. I played for Eastern Cape Inyati. That was 2021. Yeah. I think when they were rescheduling Div 1 and Div 2.
1 too, yes. Yeah.
So then I played for them for, I think, 2 seasons. And then, boom, I find myself in.
Before boom comes, it's so amazing that there is a role of a coach. One, whatever the enemy meant for evil, not that your coach was the enemy, but whatever the enemy meant for evil, God made it for his good, because that was the opportunity to then strike, or the opportunity to then get a bigger breakthrough, a better breakthrough in that regard. And your coach, what's that relationship? And I want to touch back on that relationship between you and your coach, saying, the reason why I said you must do this was because I wanted to punish you. But then you did good. Obviously, getting 6 for 12, that's amazing. No one could play you. But then I want to come back to the relationship between you and the coach. What role did he play in your life, in your career, to sort of, because that was when this started.
Yeah.
So this is the start of you becoming a spinner from a pace bowler. And you did not bowl spin because you wanted to, because you were messing around. Then there is that relationship to try and fix. Yes, there was a mistake at start, but then that mistake sort of like was covered. What was that relationship between you and the coach at the time?
Obviously, that was back in primary school. So I just continued doing what I was doing, I guess, bowling that leg spin. He then obviously taught me a few more things, technical stuff. We then did that, we carried that on. And then obviously when I got to high school, it was almost like, okay, this guy bowls this, They don't know me as someone who started off bowling seam, so I continued doing that. I think I can definitely say Paul Adams helped me a lot.
Wow.
When I was at Eastern Cape Inyati. He's the one who actually, I think, got me to be, because I used to loop,
that's why they couldn't play you. That's why primary schools couldn't play you, I guess.
I used to loop it. So he's the one who kind of got me to bowl it quicker and, obviously play around with variations. That was actually
I want to come back to him in high school, and now you've decided that this is the role that you play. How are you keeping a balance between school, family, and yes, I think it was a lot easier because you're coming from a sporting background, so mom sort of understood because dad was playing, was sporty. How were you balancing, or is it because dad was sporty, it made it easy to balance, they would understand? Because cricket games, you go for longer. So you go away for hours on end, come back, you're tired, go back again tomorrow, that kind of vibe. And they still school. And old school parents, sorry to say this, they didn't believe in sport being your bread and butter. You have to go to school, you have to get a degree, you have to get that qualification. How were you keeping a balance of the three, your school, your cricket, and your family?
I think my mother definitely made it easier because she's a very flexible mom, if I can put it that way. She's very open, She wants to know, what exactly do you want out of this? Before I tell you, okay, you can do this, but what do you, because you get to an age where it's like, okay, now you're not just playing this for fun. You're playing this to make a career out of it. So I think when I got to grade 9 or grade 10, that was when we started having those conversations, and she was, flexible to actually say, no, you can continue, because I was doing okay at school. I was getting through my grades. I think the hardest part was probably after high school, because after high school I didn't have a varsity to go to, but then I had an opportunity to kind of restart. I started by playing Border Academy. From Border Academy, I then obviously moved up like that through performances. And all I did was literally just ask my mom, can I please get a gap year? Just so I can see how far I can actually take it. Wow. I think when she saw the progress that I was making within that year, she was like, okay, I think she saw I really loved this. Every time when she got home, from work, I'd always be watching TV,
watching cricket. It's so amazing that a son and a mom have that sort of discussion. Mom, give me a gap year so that I can see. So you're not just getting the gap year because you're bored and you don't want to go to varsity, but you want to see how far is this going to take me? And I think it goes to parents as well, because a lot of parents, we get so clouded by the fact that, no, I went to school, I got a degree, I'm a teacher, I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm a this. So black culture overall, we sort of like we were with blinkers.
Yeah.
If you're not a nurse, if you're not a doctor, if you're not a lawyer, if you're not an engineer, then you're screwed. There is nothing. Yet you still had that conversation with your mom to say, give me a gap year and see where it's going to take me. And you just did not just take the gap year. You put in everything in there, and look at you now. Amazing stuff. That just shows the relationship that you've got with your mom. It's amazing when a parent and a child have such discussions, because at the end of the day, even if you had gone to university and studied law, 10 years down the line, you've got midlife crisis and you hate what you're doing.
Yeah.
What's the point? Right now, you're at a point where even waking up, when the alarm goes off, like, I have to go to gym, I have to do this, I have to do that. That's because you are loving what you're doing. So then you mentioned that you had Paul Adams that was helping you. How important is it having such a big name at such a early stage of your career? Paul Adams was big. I think one of the weirdest actions, yet so successful with in the game of cricket. Speaking to you or giving you pointers, what's that doing to a youngster?
Number one, it's definitely big motivation to be around people where these guys, they've done it. Number one, and when you get guidance from them, you feel like you're one or two steps away from like breaking the door, and making a name for yourself. So for me, it really felt like, obviously being like the youngster, I always felt like I'm here to learn and I'm here to do as much as I can, but I don't want to stay for too long. I want to move up. I want to move higher to the higher levels. And I've never really been like a mediocre person, to be honest. I always strive on, doing better, doing more, getting to the next level. You know what? Like, sometimes people, they see you young, you this, obviously, cricket is a sport where, as you said, one day it happens for you, the next it doesn't, But I just feel like the more you actually just keep tightening your screws and keep working on your craft, keep growing, maybe adding a few things to what you already know. I think, honestly, like, there's no boundaries, to what you could achieve. And Paul Adams kind of showed me that, and he wasn't very shy to tell me that, there's not many people who can do what you do the way you do it, and at the pace you bowl it at, So also, like, being 2019, you hear those kind of words from a guy like Paul Adams. You feel like the man,
Yes, yeah.
So I think it was just extra motivation in the work I've been putting in.
Yeah. NQ, I can call you NQ, right?
NQ.
So NQ, we fast track now. You being with Paul Adams, I think you are a step closer to your professional career, or a step closer to playing at the highest level in the domestic league, and things are going well for you. What challenges are you meeting from that point until the big breakthrough comes? So I just want us to sort of like push a little bit where, what were the challenges? Yes, you're with Paul Adams. Yes, you're feeling good because you're working hard, and you strike me as a person that doesn't take no for an answer. So if something does not work out, you're going to work at it until you feel like, not, I've achieved. You're not going to leave the practice until you feel like, not, I've really put everything out there. That's what you strike me as. And big players are the first ones to come to practice and the last ones to leave practice. And why I say so is, when you said the very first day that you came in and you're bowling leg spin as a mess around, you said would come to practice early. And the difference between a great player and a good player is the one that comes in at 30 minutes before practice and the one that comes in right on time. yes, it's okay to be there right on time, but it's also a bit of credit for the one that gets there 40 minutes, an hour before. Take me through the challenges that you were facing as you were trying to work on your craft, as you were working with guys like Paul Adams and all the guys in the industry.
I think the first problem that I could say I was having is probably lack of resources, maybe, because you want to wake up every day and just go bowl. Sometimes it's not ideal. Sometimes I don't have transport to get to the stadium, to the ground, to go bowl. So I would have to maybe take a jog to my primary school. George Randall's it's a 30-minute walk, So I'd maybe have to go there and bowl. The nets are obviously not as great, but obviously you make use of what
something,
you have. It's something. It's better than just sitting and not
doing nothing. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess that was one, and
this guy never had challenges. What a life!
I definitely did have challenges. I don't think I can really point a finger on. Okay. Sometimes you're told that we see your work, you're working hard, you're doing this, you're doing everything correctly, and we'd love to give you a chance, but then you unfortunately can't because there's this guy who's
he's doing the same thing.
He's doing the same thing, and he's standing in your way. Even if you are producing results at club level or whatever, it's just like this guy he's a senior guy, so we can't play you ahead of him, So I think obviously those kind of things play with your mental space, because you start doubting yourself, even though you're being told that, okay, be patient, you start doubting yourself, am I actually good enough to actually play here in this team, am I good enough to do this or that, but I guess you just have to really stick it through, and I was fortunate to have guys I could actually speak with, whenever I felt like I was doubting myself and feeling like I won't make it in this team.
You're not worth it,
So they made it easier for me.
Yeah, you're right. That's why we said, I was speaking to Stembiso Langa as well yesterday, and he said, it hurts to be told that you're doing everything right, but you're still not getting that chance. And at the same time, you're like, okay, what else must I do? Because we believe that with cricket, you have to produce the stats to make it. And unfortunately, it's a sad reality. It does not work like that. They will always go for the guy that has been around in the system and the guy that has been producing the results, even though they may be going through a rough patch. Because you also don't want a situation where the system chucks you away when you're no longer producing results. So it's sort of like a catch-22. And a lot of players go through that mental break or that mental breakdown as when you're saying, you end up thinking, am I not good enough to be playing there? Now, you said when it messes with your mental, you had guys that you were speaking to. Were these guys or are these guys seniors within the circles, or you then decide to seek therapy and speak about your self-doubt?
I never really thought of seeking therapy at the time, if I'm being honest. I didn't think it was that big of an issue. But I spoke to the players, there were some players who were like fathers to me in that team. Like guys who check in with you every day, they always checking on you. Like not just, how you doing, good morning, like checking in like, are things good at home, how you doing? Because sometimes I used to, as I said, sometimes I didn't have transport to get to the stadium. So sometimes I would cycle from the stadium or from my house to the stadium, So just those guys who were around me, the senior players, they always kept checking in with me, keeping tabs, are things good? And they always made me feel like I'm like part of the family, even though I wasn't playing.
Okay.
But they always made me feel like, you're great, bro. You're the next big thing. Just keep working at it. Just keep pushing. So yeah.
Wow. You're the next big thing, and we're getting into big thing. When did your break, this was my break? And the point that I'm trying to reiterate is you don't know when your seed is going to germinate. Yeah. You just keep on planting the seeds. You don't know which one is going to, boom, that one is sprouting. When you got your big break, take us through that moment when you get the phone call, when you get the SMS to say, bud.
So it was, I don't know what my stories are. My stories they are so, it's not like how every cricketer made it through the ranks.
Okay.
Because I was bowling to the Proteas and the West Indies, in the nets. That was back in East London when they were playing the T20s.
Okay.
So I was bowling in the nets. When I bowled to the Proteas, the guys were actually impressed, but they wouldn't show it that they impressed.
Obviously, they're big gents, so you have to keep it cool.
But I mean,
low key.
I could also see that, this is actually it's not much. I'm actually bowling. I'm doing well here. I'm cleaning some of them up. I'm bowling well. I'm not, and it's obviously T20, so they obviously practicing some range hitting.
Yes, yeah.
So when I saw that, I was also like, this is not so big. If I really, really work hard for this, I feel like, I'm the one who can only mess it up. So yeah, I bowled to them, for it was 2 days. They were impressed, and then about 2 days after that, my phone was just busy, getting calls everywhere.
Look at the smile on your face.
Because it's not something that happens every day.
Every day, yes.
And not every cricketer is exposed to such.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got a call from the Lions, and I just,
This is a guy that is in East London. To get a call from Lions is a big franchise, a massive franchise. A lot of gents in the first class scenes want to play for Lions, but it doesn't happen like that. Yet, there is a guy that is saying Christ first. And then that happens. Lions comes, you don't have to think about it. I don't think it's something that you're yeah, let me sleep on it, and I'll get back to you, yeah? As soon as the call comes through, dude, when do you need me? As soon as yesterday. So that happens, and you are obviously elated, you're excited, you are, lack of better word, you're on top of the moon. That happens, then you have to move to Joburg. There's a mental side now. There is a mental strength in you bowling to the Proteas, because these are guys that you look at on TV and it seems like it's very far-fetched. All of a sudden, they can't play you. Or they're trying to play you according to their professional setup and mindsets and all that, but it's not happening. And it takes a great deal of mental strength to still bowl it to land it at the same spot. Especially as a leg spinner, one ball is going to get stuck in your hand and it's not going to go through, and they're going to bash you and you're like, oh, well, I meant to be hit because I'm not a professional. Yeah. It takes a great deal of mental strength to still come back and do the same thing. Where do you derive that much of mental strength to keep on bowling to the guys, then to get a call after 2 days, then to move to Joburg away from your family, and where you are now getting into every other thing?
The move for me, honestly, wasn't a big deal. It wasn't, obviously it was a big deal because I'm coming to the Lions, but it wasn't difficult. Let me put it like that. It wasn't a difficult move in terms of mentally, because I know it's something I've always wanted. It's something I've been working towards for I don't know how long, So when I got that call, for me it was almost like, pack my bags.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah.
So I think mentally I'd already put myself in that situation before I got the call.
Wow.
I put myself in that situation probably when I was still in high school, let me
Wow.
say, you know.
Wow.
It's like you still say now, like you obviously you wanna make it big, you know, in cricket, you know. You see yourself actually in the bigger stages before you actually in it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened for me moving, you know, to Joburg. It was very easy, you know, mentally, and I mean, Jono is one of the best CEOs
Legend,
I've ever met.
legend, legend.
He's like, he made it so easy for me. You know, I didn't have to. When I got here, I didn't even struggle. You know, I got here and there was a car waiting for me already to take me to the ground.
Yeah.
So those little details, you know, made it very easy. You know, and I did feel like I'm in the right place.
Wow. Amazing that you say you've already pictured before you get. A lot of times we picture stuff, but we really don't believe that we belong there. So when it then happens, you're like, oh crap, it happened. Sort of like you're believing in God for something big. Then when that big comes, you're like, geez, so God can actually do it. You understand? Amazing. How is the environment at the Lions?
The environment there is, it's a very like open environment, you know. It's very professional. You get there, you know, if there's practice at 10 o'clock, you know, 10 o'clock sharp, we start. You know, you don't arrive at 10, you arrive there maybe like 5 minutes before, so that you can obviously, everything is, it's like professional, you know. The team environment also it's a very easy environment, you know. There's welcoming guys, you know, all around, who've made it very easy for me to actually say that, you know, this is actually, you know, my home away from home, you know. I've enjoyed my time, you know.
Amazing.
So far.
Amazing. And how is Joburg?
Joburg,
Apart from the traffic lights that are not working, that's
no, Joburg is a nice place. I think Joburg is a nice place. You know, there's everything you want in Joburg. You know, if you're someone who loves, you know, sightseeing, you know, you'll see that. You know, it's a nice place. You know,
Awesome.
very busy place also.
Awesome. I want to come back. Aya's got a few questions that he wrote down. You're gonna give me the questions, then I'm gonna ask him. Then before that, you are drafted into the SA20, and some big names. Josh Butler to begin with. He's done so well for England. He's done well for the T20 circuit. Jason Roy is the ball very far. David Miller is the ball. My son is dying to meet David Miller. Like, Dad, I know you're bringing this Nqaba Peter, but when are you gonna bring David Miller? How is that environment? What is that doing to you? Because when we started the recording, you said all these things, you look at them from afar, you think that they are far. Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, you've got the gents in the changing room with you. What is that doing to your cricket when you got drafted into the SA20?
I'm not gonna lie. When that happened, I was like so excited. Like I couldn't. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. You know, because the draft had happened already, and I wasn't drafted. So, like, mentally, I was like, okay, we're pushing for next year now.
Nice, okay.
You know? And then all of a sudden, I get a call to say, okay, no, look, we want you at the Royals. There's Luandre and Kwena. They pulled out because of SA19.
Yeah.
You know, so then I obviously had the opportunity to fill in one of their spots. Like, it was so unreal, you know, the professionalism that is around. It's second to none, honestly. Wow. You know, you meet these guys. When I met these big guys like your Josh, your Jason Roy, you know, Obed McCoy, like, these are guys I watch on TV.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Now I'm sharing a dressing room with them. It was very eye-opening, you know, to actually just say, you know, just believe in yourself, you know. Like, there's a saying that says the world is your oyster, you know. Like, I really feel like as much as there could be so much happening around you. But I feel like if you firmly believe that this is what you want and you work towards it, I feel like nothing can stop you.
Wow. But after cricket, you need to be a pastor. I'm going to invite you to my church.
When I
start a church,
not a
then you're
pastor.
because the amount of wisdom that you're sharing is just amazing. Not only on a cricket front, but from a life's perspective. The world is an oyster. It does not only equate to the person that's playing cricket and wants to make something out of their cricket, but also the person that is starting a career, studying, whatever that you can envision, it is possible to do it. Now you sit down with those are big guys that are ranging some hefty figures on the T20 circuit. They are in the same changing room as you. They're in the same WhatsApp group as them. And the only thing that you can do is to learn as much from that environment. And we've got a few questions that are coming from Aya. So if there's any controversy in the 5, that's not me, Joking, right? The first question says, the transition from 4-day cricket to T20, how was the preparation physically and mentally? Now you guys
from
are going
4-day
into
to the T20.
Because now you're getting into the T20.
I think that's an easier transition, to be honest, because in 4-day, if anything, if you want to be the best, you need, like, it's really simple, but it's hard to do it, you know. They say the good players or the best players do the simple thing for longer. So in 4-day cricket, do the simple things, line and length, for a longer period of time, you know. So if you're doing that, you know, and you just move it, you shift that into the T20s, basically all you're doing is the same thing, and maybe just adding, you know, change-ups, you know. I think it's easier for the bowlers, because bowlers, you were just landing one spot, and then now it's almost, it's in the back of your head because you've been doing it for the past.
Okay.
So you're just
varying the pace now.
Yeah, you're just varying the pace.
Yeah. Awesome. So is it easier to transition from 4-day to T20 than it is to transition from T20 to 4-day?
Definitely. Because in T20, I feel like you always want bat on ball if you're a batsman. And in 4-day, you have to leave more. So I think going from T20 to red ball cricket 4-day,
that's tough.
I think that would be tough.
I see. Okay, number 2. What drives you daily to get up and do what you do? Or what drives you to get up and make better? Okay, what drives you to get up and do more or better? Yeah, Aya's killing you. Is you on, bro?
I think it's the dream.
Wow.
To be honest.
The dream.
I've got this dream in my mind, you know, and I've really set on it, you know. And with just the small or the big that I have achieved, you know, in such a, it's kind of put me in a space where I've realized that things aren't going to happen the same for everyone, you know. You could be in the dark for the longest of times, but then when you are in the light, it could happen for you, you know, very quickly, you know. So I think one of the things that drive me is just, you know, I really strive on achieving my dream and my goal, you know. Obviously doing well for my family and the people who support me back home, you know. Because I didn't know how much it means to them, you know, that to see me on TV. But then up until you actually see in their faces what it means, you know, people who actually like tears of joy crying for you, you know, you start to realize it's no longer just about you, you know, it's bigger than that.
I can testify for Aya as well.
Yeah.
I've known you on Aya status. Like, the guy is, he exudes so much pride when you play. Literally, the game that we played there was a game that we played for Lions, and I was there, but I had to leave. And you were supposed to meet with him after the game, I think just for photos and whatnot. And you can see the pride that is in him just whenever things don't go well. And I wanted to move that as a last question because there's a little bit of banter around it.
Yeah.
But I remember after the game that you guys played against Sunrisers, and I spoke to Aya, and I was like, help me understand David Miller's thinking, but we're going to get to that. So when you're saying the pride that is in people, I know it from Aya. So if I'm seeing it from Aya, who is a bit distant from you, imagine what it is doing to your mom, to your sister, to your cousins, and everyone that is around you. So the dream makes you wake up, definitely. And a lot of people are clapping for you, even though you may not say it on your status, on Aya's status. I know that for sure. So, yeah. Number 3, do you ever get intimidated playing in a star-studded lineup, Lions team?
Intimidated with my opponents, or
no your side, because when you walked into the Lion setup, you've got Alan Donalds there, you've got Russell Domingo there, you've got you and Bjorn Forchen. I think you're more or less the same primary skills. Don't you get intimidated? You've got KG Rabada in there, like just say you've got Temba Bavuma in there,
100%.
like. That's a star-studded lineup. Yes, Lions are doing good, and it's an amazing franchise because of the names that are in there.
Yeah.
Don't you get intimidated? Like, yes, I'm just a small pickaninny here.
I think with the very first day I got there, I was a little bit intimidated. I'm not gonna lie, because I thought to myself, some big guys here.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Or what am I gonna say in the changing room?
Yeah. You know. But one thing, I never doubted my skill. If it comes to cricket, you know, I just don't doubt my skills.
Wow.
I feel like I really work, like I really hit the nail on just working on my skill. So like when it happens and you are in this surrounding, I see it as motivation, because I mean, if I can ball to a timber and I can get him out, you know, then...
But come to church, man. Come and preach. Come on, man. Yeah.
You know, but like those kind of things just, they kind of, it motivates you, you know.
It's supposed to motivate you, not to derail you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think I get intimidated by who's around me. I think, yes, when I did come, I definitely did get intimidated. But then, you know, it took like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes to kind of just cool down and settle in.
Wow.
So,
amazing.
yeah,
Amazing.
like, I use that as...
Amazing. Number 5, how do you stay so humble and so focused? This is me adding to that. You are so focused, you are so humble, you are so down to earth, and humble is the same thing, but I feel like I can put them as different. You are so focused, you know what you want, and you're not arrogant about going to get it. What's the trick?
If there was a trick,
I know
it's
a tough question, I know.
If there was a trick, I'd definitely tell you, but I think I just come from humble beginnings.
Yeah.
You know, I think that for me kind of, it just sets the tone for you, you know. When you're growing up in an environment where you see people don't have as much as you do, it makes you appreciate the little things more.
Wow.
I didn't come from a family where I was poor. I came from a family where, you know,
You're okay.
I was okay.
You're okay.
You know, I was okay.
You could afford basic, like any other person would. Yes,
you know. Yeah. Like, I know what it feels like to have a fridge full of food. I know what it feels like to have nothing in the fridge, you know. Yeah. So I think that right there, I would say, makes me the humble person I am, you know. And number 2, like, I don't know the arrogance thing. I don't know how, like, you get people who are like that, you know. Maybe it's the background, maybe it's whatever, but I just feel like, you know, at the end of the day, we are all humans, you know. Like, take the cricket away from me. Who am I without the cricket? Being. You know? Yeah. So those little things, I think they kind of add up, you know. And like, it's not like I'm trying to do it. It's just who I am. How my mother and father raised me to be like, you know. And I think it's just rubbed off in a positive way from how I'm hearing it, you know, from you.
Wow, amazing. I think you've already answered me of the question that I'm going to ask, because it disturbed me. I don't want to lie. Your game versus Sunrisers.
Yeah.
You're given the last over. I think you're defending 8.
Yeah, that's 8.
But your first over went for 14, and that's your first game.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what was the thought process? Because I saw Dane Villas came to you from long off.
Yeah.
Butler as well. Miller was close to you as your captain. And I'm thinking, so you want a youngster that is his first game. Yes, I get it. That's why you are in the team. You are there to bowl.
Yeah.
But you are giving a youngster that is his first game. Obviously, there's nerves. There's to do with nerves. And defending 8 as a spinner. Yes, if you had won that game, great. I think all accolades will be going on you. But also, when you then lose, you then be looked at as you lost the game for them. Yes, it was not a crunch game for you guys. Mm-hmm. But in hindsight, you're thinking, how did that... Don't you think that will disturb or that will mess up that youngster's career? That's where I was coming from. Even when I was chatting to Aya the next day, I just want you to take me through, because I still see your face with the sun cream on.
Yeah.
Like, you were so focused.
Yeah.
You were in the game. I think I'm going to find that clip, then I'm going to link it on this video.
Yeah.
You were there. You understand? Yes, I understand that you're focused. Yes, I understand that you've got a dream. Yes, I understand that to you it's like, wow, I've got the big guys next to me, but I already dreamt of this big stage. What was going through your mind mentally, and what did that over do to you mentally?
That game, one thing I can say, I did not have a good game, you know. But that's cricket. It's like ebbs and flows, you know. I think with that lost over, you know, one thing I can say is that the seniors made it easier for me in terms of feeling the pressure. Obviously, you know, playing at St. George's, full crowd, you know.
Yes.
So, like, at that time, you know, as you're saying, I was focused. Like, I was now just in my own mind, to be honest. If I'm being honest, I don't remember most of the stuff the seniors told me.
Because I still remember David Miller is next to you. He said something, but you did not nod or nothing. Dane Villas ran to you, nothing. You're just standing there like, gents, I want to bowl.
At that time, I was just like laser focused, you know. And I felt like that was a big opportunity, you know, for me to actually win the game, you know. I didn't see it as chucking me in the deep side, or if that's how they see it, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like that was just an opportunity for me to actually show that, you know,
that's mental strength.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what situation you put in, you know. I feel like if you can deliver what the team needs from you at the time, then I mean that's golden. And I feel like the biggest thing in cricket, you have to learn to adjust very quickly. You know. Yeah. So when I looked at the scoreboard, I saw the bowlers have bowled 4, 4, 4, 4, and then I saw I think
Cody had 3. I think
Cody 3.
Yes.
And then I think I bowled 1.
Yes, that was the second.
But then I looked up there, and then I went to go speak to Vian Leber. I asked him, bro, what do you think? Who do you think is going to bowl that?
Oh, that was the over before?
That was, I think, 2 overs before.
Oh, before, okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, who do you think is going to bowl that over? The last one. So it's like, look here, I've got 1 more, and I don't know who else was going to, but it's like, just prepare for that over. So I'm like, okay, sure. So I started preparing myself mentally.
Oh, is it? Okay, before the captain came to you. Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, that was, you know, a big moment for me. Like, it also kind of showed me that I don't just back down from anything, you know.
Wow.
Because I could have easily just said,
Nah.
no, I don't want this over. This is the last over, 8 runs, you know. But I still had
considering the over that Andy Lepetrukoy had bought previously, like nah, I'm not.
And I was still there telling myself like, you're gonna win this game for the Royals.
Well done, man. That's amazing.
You
and
know?
you got the wicket of Temba before
and I got the wicket of him.
Yeah.
So I think that's just how I could say maybe go about how I think in cricket terms, you know. I don't want to, don't box me in. Don't tell me a spinner can only do this, or you can only come in and I'm open to being flexible, you know. I want to
even bowl with a new ball.
With the new ball, you can let's see what it's.
Let's see what it does. Yeah.
It's not really done, you know.
What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that could happen? I can get hit for 6 sixes. You know, life moves on. So like I love challenging myself also.
Wow.
So I just saw that as a challenge, and I took it. You know?
Amazing. Thank you for settling my heart, because it's been eating me, and mate, it's been amazing. My last question to you is, how was the overall chat?
Like, I honestly, I forgot.
Give us feedback.
I was having a podcast. I'm in a podcast. You know, I just felt like it was one of those chats where, you know, on a Sunday, you know, we watching TV and, you know, we just catching up. I felt like this was more of like a catch-up session.
Nice.
You know,
nice.
I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
You know, I feel like this is nice. I feel comfortable. You know?
Amazing. Thank you, man.
Yeah, it was very good.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for taking your time to come through and share with us who you are apart from the cricket. And I loved what I'm taking away from this is you said, take away the cricket. Yeah. I'm still a human being. And the one part that I really loved is the fact that you said you're a believer before anything else. And I believe that God is opening those doors because you're acknowledging him. And a lot of times we tend to say, yeah, I'm a good cricket player and doors have been opened and whatnot. But to still have the presence of mind and the humbleness to say, I'm a believer before I'm everything else, that is big. So from me and the rest of the crew, we just want to wish you all of the best with your future endeavors, with your game, with you as a person, and any person that meets you, may they see this light. Because a lot of times, it's not what we say to the people, but it's the light that we bring into the room when we walk into it. And that's exactly what you did. And we are so thankful to have you. Thank you for making us wait. It's all right, mate. It's okay. It's okay.
No, thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for having me. I mean, I really appreciate this. You know, you guys spend time on setting everything up here. You know, I really appreciate.
No, we love what you do, just like you love what you do. So awesome stuff. Yeah.
We're
gonna carry on just saying thank you. Anyway, if you're still here, this has been an amazing conversation. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. And the CSA T20 is starting, and get over to the Wanderers Titans Super Sport Park. Go there and just watch some good games of cricket, domestic scenes that is, and just be there for these gents that are doing their most and they're loving what they are doing. We are here on the other side and making sure that whoever that is keen to come through to the show, please, this seat is waiting for you so that we can hear what your story is all about. We had Mr. Peter tonight. He's my spot, because I married a Kosa girl and he's Kosa, so you know what I'm saying, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much if you're still here. We love you. Stay safe. God bless, and see you next time. Cheers for now.